Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, text number 15. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Paudram Daumam Mahashankam Bhima Vrikodaraha. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his Devadatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Purport. But Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him. Therefore, the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalist cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities are senseless or impersonal. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses, but He directs in terms of surrender to the living entity. And in the case of pure devotee, He directly controls the senses. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesha. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana because he killed the demon named Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as a son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandana because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashodanandana because he awarded his child pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Parthasarathi because he worked as a charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Vrikodara because he could eat as voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks such as killing the demons Hidimba. So the particular type of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of Pandavas, beginning with the Lord, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Director, nor that of Goddess of Fortune, so they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was a message announced by the sounds of the conch shell. Umajnanatimirandasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्ण. Grateful for the opportunity to be in the presence of devotees and discuss the topics, actually the heart of our pure devotees and their service to the Lord. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya. Hare Krishna. Here, Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Even the names are very unique. Arjuna blew Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater, performer of Herculean tasks, blew Paundra. Dear devotees, even the conch shells are given importance. What to speak of a person? Krishna consciousness means giving importance. Giving importance to the minute details. When the Lord descends in this world, he gives details to the minute. When he saw Putana, he was about to, he knows that Putana came to kill him. But he was not horrified, neither he was fearful. Rather, he was smiling towards that person. Even though the intention was not right, was bad. His reciprocation was totally different. If a person wants to kill us, do we embrace him or we go away from him? We go away from him. The Lord is not like that. This is pure souls also, not like that. So when the Lord was kept in that particular difficult, kind of a difficult state for everyone, because if you actually see, the moment Yashoda, Mother Yashoda saw that Lord was being taken away and then the person became a demon, she was very fearful, outraged, she fell down. She has no idea what's happening there. Naturally, every mother will go through that state. But here, an interesting aspect. Putana represents false spiritual master. That means person looks, but he is not. If she's wearing that beautiful attire so that everybody were mesmerized, they were all happy seeing her. As the intention was wrong, she represents a false spiritual master, false guru. Now, what does that mean? That means coming is on one aspect, intention is something else. The way they try to lead is totally different. People generally use, in this world, people use us. Because what is the state? Jivo jivasya jivanam. Because those jiva, that jiva came from different, just like we came from different bodies, different stages of the life. Every living entity is also coming through that stage. So a natural propensity, which is unnatural in this particular world, but that so-called natural is used to use the other person. Kind of a concept of use and throw. But the Lord, she came to actually kill him, but at one moment she felt that he's my son, and then she really wanted to give him milk. So Krishna has actually seen the intention at that particular moment, and then he gave him the greatest position in the spiritual world. It's a great position in the spiritual world as a nurse. Now, what does that represent? That means does it show or tell us that, oh, let me do whatever I want? Lord is always there. He will give me great position. Is that the way to take it? No. How do we take that? No doubt it's a false representation of the false Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj says it's a false representation of a spiritual master because she's cunningly coming and then she's telling something but she's doing something else. As in, her intention is totally different. Now, whoever comes under that association, they are baffled up in this world. That's what he says. So we should be very careful. It should be authorized from the Sampradaya. And within that Sampradaya, the person should be very sincere. His dealing should be straightforward. If he's running behind so many things of this world and he wanted to give us Krishna consciousness, then that will not help. So as a jiva, it's our responsibility. We should take that kind of association, which is actually helping us, helping making progress in Krishna consciousness, giving us an opportunity to depend more on the process, taking the shelter of the acharyas more and more. So that is good association. So here, when the Lord says, as Sanjaya is speaking these words, Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya. It's very, that means even the conchal, they have the name. They name the conchal. It's like here, the Lord is referred to as Rishikesha in the verse. All the living entities are part and parcel of Him. Therefore, the senses are also part and parcel of the Lord. And the senses, everything. Now, everything will become part and parcel of the Lord depends on how much the Jiva is surrendering to the will of the Lord. If the Jiva is surrendering very nicely to the will of the Lord, his senses are sold out. His senses are sold out to the Lord. His senses are sold out to the spiritual master. He has nothing. That means he doesn't have any personal motive. His intention is pretty straightforward. Use me as much as you can. It's like Srila Prabhupada. He writes in the Jaladuta letter, "Oh my dear Lord, you can use me in whatever way, shape, and form you want." This attitude is the attitude. If the sadhaka comes to this state, then what happens? The senses will not become wild. The senses will become submissive. The senses will actually listen. The mind will actually listen. The intelligence will actually be in complete Krishna conscious. Because what is happening? The level of surrender is deeper. But if the surrender is not there, if it is in a different plane, different state, just like pure devotion, anything with an exception of pure devotion is cannot be accepted. Anything. It can be anything in this world. Karma, jnana, dhyana, anything. That means the jnana, the dhyana on what? Smarana. The dhyana is the smarana. Smarana on whom? If a person has personalism, then he'll do smarana on the Lord. But if a person is leading to impersonal, then he will not do smarana on the person, rather he will do the smarana on the energy of the Lord. When a person actually does smarana on the energy of the Lord, what happens is his senses he's also trying to do whatever you're supposed to do because he's doing meditation. Na? What is impersonalism? You do a meditation which is pleasing you. That means whatever you are doing, it should be pleasing to you. For example, let us understand this further. For example, if I don't like to honor prasad, or if I don't like to offer bhoga to the Lord, that means do I skip that? If the person is having the conception of impersonalism, I'm just giving an example. If a person having the conception of impersonalism, that means whatever he does, it's for his well-being. It's for his ananda. Then he'll do kirtan, he'll do chanting, he'll do everything. You remember, like many days back, we discussed this example, right? A person is actually intensely meditating on the names of the Lord. Then the other person would actually watch. I remember she's been written. And that Maharaj at that moment, he says, "Oh, I felt that he's actually really a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra." In the moment he began asking the question, "What is the intent behind this?" Then he said, "You, I, everyone, whoever chants, we will all become Lord, the energy. You can also become Lord Rama. I can also become Lord Rama." Then Maharaj started running from that place. Because the intention is what? Intention is to become one with that energy. They do not have a personal form. They aspire for that energy. They aspire for that one single level consciousness. And what is that consciousness, dear devotees? What are we perceiving through that? Ananda. That means this person is actually getting happiness through this action. That person is getting happiness through personalism. This person is getting happiness through impersonalism. But if you actually see here, Panchajanyam Rishikesha, that means even the councils have been named. See how much personalism it is. How much the process is so personal. It's not impersonal. Bhakti is very personal. It's not impersonal. You have a personal connection, personal relation. You chant Hare Krishna. We hear. We do smarana. It's all what is all? It's all personalism. That's your connection. That's your relation with the Lord. Rukmini Amma, she did not see. Please understand. Rukmini Amma, she did not see the lordships directly. But what did she do? She heard from a pure soul. And then later what happened? She began doing kirtana. Acceptance, began doing kirtana, and then now this kirtana is intensified. Now she is contemplating. She's going into the smarana stage. That means what is she doing? Continuous smarana. Now smarana about what? Smarana about the Lord. About his forms, about his pastimes, about his qualities. Now here, Putana at one moment, she had that good feeling towards the Lord. And through that good feeling, good consciousness at that particular moment, and then through that good consciousness, she felt that he is really my son. She's not thinking, oh, this Krishna is Supreme Personality. No, she felt that he's my son. Now, a person, when a sadhaka comes to Krishna consciousness, he'll understand, oh, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should worship him with awe and reverence through Vaidhi Bhakti, through the rules and regulations. And when that Vaidhi, through the rules and regulations, is intensified, Shravana, Varana, Kirtana, Smarana, this Smarana intensified, then automatically that Vaidhi is transformed into Raganuga. That means spontaneous devotion. But that spontaneous devotion comes, why spontaneous devotion is coming? For whom the spontaneous devotion will come? Who will receive that kind of mercy? Because everything is part of mercy. Dear devotees, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we never felt that we'll be practicing the process of Krishna consciousness. So did any one of us felt that we'll practice Krishna consciousness? No. Then how is it coming? It's all mercy. Through certain circumstances. Now, why those circumstances are coming? It's the arrangement of the Lord. As per our karmic reaction, certain situations, certain perplexities, certain anxieties lead to this. The state of depression led to this, which is doesn't matter which with what motive with what reason we came doesn't matter. But one reason we need to understand that whatever I am doing now, it should be on the plane of pure devotional service. Ahayuki aprayata. That means if a person has that goal that I should aspire for that pure devotion, and then he will actually check his state. He will actually check our state where I am. And then through that state, he'll aspire for that. This is exactly our acharyas wanted to give us. What is this? Mamaivaamshu jiva loke. Jiva bhuta sanatana. Manashashtindriyani prakritisthani karshati. We are all part and parcel of that. But the senses, the mind, intelligence, they're troubling us. Shashtindriyani prakritisthani karshati. Because it has been connected to this material nature. And then through this connection of this material nature, we are baffled. That's why Lord knows our position. See, Kali Yuga means it's a degraded age. If we understand that it's a degraded age, doesn't Lord, He knows everything, right? He also understands our situation. That's why through minimal actions or activities with right conscious, right intention, there is an every chance of going back home, back to Godhead. Because if you see in the previous ages, in the previous yugas, the process was very detailed. It was a lengthy process. But now in the Kali Yuga, it's been discounted. But even in this discounted state, the aspiration, if it is not for pure devotion, if you are aspiring for something else other than that pure devotion, just like Duryodhana is aspiring for so many things. If you are hankering for any of those things, then the devotion is checked. Because in this short tenure, if we are aspiring for something else, which happens in a state because we have too many attachments in this world. So our process of practice is done through those attachments. It is not directly practicing those things, but we do these things through this attachment. Just like Duryodhana, even though Krishna was present directly as is, he couldn't understand the presence of the Lord through these things. Likewise, if a sadhaka continues to practice Krishna consciousness through these understandings, through these attachments, through this raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, when he does this, then what happens? He will not experience the higher taste. We are actually discussing about this in the afternoon. So when the Lord says, so when the Lord says, I, if whoever remembers me at the time of death, I will give them all the mercy. That means whoever remembers the Lord at the time of death, Lord is ready to take that person to the spiritual abode. Please understand this. Now, to remember the Lord at the time of death, is that an easy thing? For example, in our day-to-day activities, how many times we are remembering the presence of the Lord? How many times we are remembering the presence of our acharyas? What are we doing? What are we leading? For whose pleasure we are leading our life? All these questions, if we ask all these questions, then we get a clarity where we are connected. For example, if the sadhaka is having this understanding that okay, at the time of death, at the time of death, I should remember the Lord. But Prabhupada actually mentions we don't know when the death comes. Do we have a clarity when this death would come? We have no clarity about it. If the sadhaka does, if the sadhaka knows this, for example, if we all know when we will die, that's pretty straightforward. For example, person if we know that, let's take an example. For example, if a person lives in 2040, how many years he has? 2030, 2026, 36, and 40. 50, 14 years, roughly 15 years. Okay. Then he comes to the process of Krishna consciousness. He understands. And then he hears Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tajantante Kalivaram. Tam tam eved kaunte sada tadbhava bhavita. Whoever remembers me at the time of death, I will give him all the mercy. And then and Krishna is telling, for sure, if he is remembering, for sure I will take him back to Godhead. He's confirming that. And then person also knows that in 2040 he will leave. Now he has 15 years. Now he has heard this. Now all that 15 years, he understands that I'm going to leave in 2040. And all these years, he's not trying to remember the Lord because he knows that at the end of the life, he'll remember. So at that moment, when he understands that, he's not doing any of those things. So please understand, will that be possible to remember the Lord at that fag end of his life? It's not possible, dear devotees. Because practically, when you think about this, how a person can actually remember the Lord at the end of his life? Of how a person can actually remember the acharyas at the end of his life. If that process is not inculcated in one's life. This was the thing which I was thinking. Because there's a statement Prabhupada mentions, our today's actions and activities are the one which we will remember in our heart. And these actions and activities will actually, you will remember at the time of death also. That means, for example, if my actions and activities are not driven through Krishna consciousness, then what is the scope of remembering? For example, if the hands and legs are not working, only the consciousness is working. Can we remember at that moment, at that difficult state, can we try to recollect what we have heard before? For example, if we did not hear, what do we recollect? Whatever we have heard. For example, we did not do proper Shavana and Kirtan. What do we remember? For example, I'm chanting my rounds and then I'm watching something else. Is that beneficial? What am I doing? Am I hearing or doing something else during the process of Kirtana? And then if the Shravana is good, then Kirtana will be naturally good. But if the Shravana is not good, then the Kirtana cannot be good. That's why giving importance to those persons is so important because through that importance only, we can perceive the truth on a deeper level. Please understand. If the entire life is driven through the Shravana, at the end of the life, naturally you'll remember the Lord. That is the reason Ashtaprayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Why that Nityam Bhagavata Seva is being manifested, dear devotees? Please understand this. Because practically our acharyas are telling us that daily when we continue the process of Shravana and Kirtana sincerely to the core of the heart, then what happens is those impressions will imprint into your heart. Through the relationship, those impressions will be imprinted in your heart. And then when these hands and legs they are no longer functioning, those impressions which are imprinted into your heart, they come out. And then when they come out during that time, then you will experience the joy. You'll cry. The cry will come. Because what did you do? How did you hear? Sincerely. What did you do? Sincerely. What did you practice? Sincerely. Then what do you get? Sincere result. Because Lord will ensure, He personally will ensure that He will give us that mercy, and then through that mercy, we'll be remembering Him at the time of the death, and then we'll be leaving, going back home, back to God. So it is not an unnatural process, or it is not a the thing which can be done only at the time of death. No, this is a process of life. And if you technically see, all we are because in the previous yugas they had to go through so many things. What we are doing, we're following simple rules and regulations, following four relative principles, and then doing Shavana, and then through that inspiration doing Kirtana, and then through that trying to go deeper into the Smarana level. Because what is that manifesting? What is that helping? Because when we do this thoroughly again and again, again and again, again and again, what happens is Without your intention, you'll remember. You'll actually think their presence. You'll actually feel their presence. Just like Mother Sita, when she was kept in the difficult state, what was she doing? She was alone actually. And then Ravana is continuously coming again and again. What is he doing coming after coming again and again? What is he telling? If you do not, he's giving everything. I'll give you this, and you'll become the top queen. Everything I'll give if you accept. If you do not, then I'll give you. And then he's continuously abusing. But what is her state? How is she accepting it? No, from his side, he's doing one thing. From her side, what is she doing? What kind of manifestation is happening there? What is happening there? There, she is actually seeing him just like a blade of grass, nothing more than that. So, from where did that came? Because if you see entire party, entire thing, it's an unknown place to her. But where is her focus? What is she thinking? What is her consciousness? Where is she doing? What is the smarana? What is she thinking about? For whose pleasure she is doing everything? It's all to please Lord Ramchandra. And she has no idea that whether Lord Ramchandra will come or not. She has no idea. Even before Hanumanji came, she was in that state. After Hanumanji coming, she was pacified. Then after that also, Hanumanji tells, I will take you. But she did not accept that. She said, no, 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 Lord Ramachandra, his glory should be manifested. He should come and he should take me. He cannot come with you. And she has no idea whether Lord Ramachandra will come or not. But if you see her patience, what is that? Her chastity is so deep. It's only to Lord Ramachandra, nothing else. Please understand. It's only to him. It's only to please him. It's only him, nothing else. Who will get this consciousness, dear Lord? The sadhaka has to aspire for that state. Purity is a force. What we want to do. What we want, we aspire. That is what we exactly have to do. Very important. Yajyat atrate sesta tatta teve tarojana. At the time of death. At the time of death, at the time of death. That means, at the time of death, to pass the test at the time of death, we should practice now. Because death will come to anyone at any moment. I cannot, we cannot put ourselves in a comfort zone that I have time. No time, actually. We have no idea. We have no clue. For some, after a few years, for some, after 10 years, for some, after 20 years, for some, after 30 years, for some, after a few days. We have no idea. We have no clue. That's why, when this is also arrangement of the Lord, please understand. Now, Lord wants us to come through our will and our desire. It's our wish. It's our will, dear devotees. Because we are independent. Just like Lord is independent, He gives that independence to us also. We are also independent. There's no difference. Our independence is little, obviously, we are minute now. Amsha. Lord has unlimited intelligence. Our Lord has unlimited independence. Our independence is very minute. But if you see, even through that unlimited independence, He wanted to extend Himself to us. Dear devotees, if you see a big person in this world, they will only deal with big persons. Do they deal with normal persons in this world? Do you see like big people? meeting small people. No, they don't. It's very rare. They deal with big people only. But Krishna is not like that. Even though he's big, he deals with minute part and parcels also, which is real. They're very minute. But the Lord is ready to extend himself to whoever has a desire to come to him, to connect to him, to know him, to understand him. That a great father he is. He's not a normal person. He's an extraordinary person. That's why only extraordinary persons can only extend themselves to whoever they desire. Because that is his desire. Na? Now he can extend, he cannot extend. But he tells through Gita how he will extend himself. He tells through acharyas how he extends himself. He tells through them that what's pleasing him. Very important. This is the secret actually. The secret of success in Krishna consciousness is what? Is to really know the heart of the Lord. No one will know the heart of the Lord by following the words of our acharyas. There's no, whatever, when acharyas are telling something, that's it. That's the epitome. As I said a couple of days back, that we don't have to invent new things. Yesterday also we discussed about this, right? Why the Lord is coming again and again in different forms. Shakta, Vishavatar, Purushavatar, Leelavatar, Gunavatar. Why the Lord is coming in different forms? To teach us. To teach us in various ways, various forms. Just like when Yudhishthira Maharaj had a question, he was in a difficult state. Lord was trying to address it. He was still not pacified. Then the Lord said, you go to Bhishmadev, you'll be pacified there. He was pacified there. That means the Lord understands who, which person. That means He has plan to every person. Likewise, He has a plan for us. He has a plan to every jiva in this world. The jivas are slowly elevating their consciousness from a microscope, from a microorganism to some cells, to some living entities, elevated living entities, to trees. The consciousness is very low. And then the animals, birds, bees, then finally human beings. And then in this human being, the independence is more, the intelligence is more. That means Lord gave more Shakti. And that independence and that intelligence, if it is used to please Him in His service, then that independence and intelligence will be increased. But when the intelligence and independence is not used in His service, then the intelligence and independence are reduced. Reduce means obvious, then slowly the jiva will go to the lower bodies. Because this is a state from which he can go back home back to water, and this is a state from which he can go down, degraded. To go up, his intelligence is given. To go down, also intelligence is given. Now is the jiva's choice which he wants to choose. He can either go up or go down. Krishna. Very important. Can either go up, go down. This we need to understand. Lot of cases, in lot of scenarios, one thing is very common or very prominent is to use our independence. We have a choice at every step, at every moment. That means that is a core reason why Lord continuously tells about the importance of smarana. You think about me, you do about me, you please me, you aspire to come to me. Why is he telling again and again? This is a core reason. And through that independence, dear devotees, the Lord wants to bring us to a different state. And that state is a state of the spiritual world, which is the spiritual consciousness. That means I don't aspire to put anyone down. I don't aspire to deal anything negative. I don't aspire to control anyone. But whatever my responsibility is there, I try to do that. As a father, we have some responsibility. As a mother, we have a responsibility. As a son, we have a responsibility. As a daughter, we have a responsibility. We do that. Why? To please the Lord. Because at every step we have the chance now. We can do. We can do. Now, what we are doing, that is what will manifest outside. Very important. Consciously, one should actually think about this. Am I troubling anyone with my attitude? I always check this. Sometimes I might not do direct trouble, but indirectly I'll be in trouble. That will happen. So we should pray to the Lord. Oh, my dear Lord, please give right intelligence so that that indirect trouble is also removed. That means consciously one should think about the well-being of the other person. You see, when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, few devotees were coming. You know what he was doing? He was extending himself. He was giving that relationship to them. Later on, when they felt that yes, he's a genuine person, then he said, I want to initiate you. Means that when the relationship is established, then he said, this is the time I want to initiate you. And then at that moment, he's told about this regulative principle. Until that point of time, he did not speak about it. Please understand. Actually, the rules and regulations should not be spoken at the first. Please understand. Very important. The rules and regulations comes later. First, the relationship has to. First, we need to understand what is this. What is this process all about? See, if a person gets taste to the process of Krishna consciousness, naturally he'll leave unwanted things. He doesn't want to hold them. Nobody wants to have grudge on the other person. That is their unnatural state. But when they get the taste in Krishna consciousness, they'll leave it. Mother Sita, even though she was facing so much difficulties, she was tolerating all of them. She was not outbursting. Even when Hanumanji came, she said, tell Lord Ramachandra that I'm waiting. And tell him also that I can't wait more. That means she wants to express that it's an urgency. Definitely it is an urgency. Just think about that. What she might have gone through in her consciousness. It's a difficult state, especially a woman staying at an unknown place where the person is continuously torturing again and again, again and again. In that state, remembering the Lord. That means a difficulty is there, and then she's her remembrance intensified, became thousandfold, millionfold. She intensely meditating, she intensely praying to the Lord. She's intensely remembering the Lord. Is the only shelter for her continuously, continuously. See, this practical, this is so practical. Surrendering to them, being just showing chastity, being submissive to them, following their words. So important, so special. You should aspire for that. Should aspire for that state. If a person has a relationship, then only he can remember, then only he can do this. Otherwise he can do, he cannot do. Mother Sita has a deep relationship with Lord Ramachandra. That's why she was able to do it. Srila Prabhupada has a deep relationship with the spiritual master. That's why he could do it. Even though the spiritual master was not there, he was fixed up to implement his service. Even though everything is away from him, everything is against him, still he wants to do it. Nobody is respecting him. Prabhupada doesn't care that. His focus is only one. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekyaha kurunat. With this state of consciousness, he actually told us how to leave the body also. The devotees, when Srila Prabhupada was leaving the body, he said, Do nashta prayasha badrishu. Do Shavana Kirtana daily. Come to the plane of goodness. Karanam gunasangasya, satasya janma vimasya. Which only our causes which lead to body after body. Kick that. Take the association of sadhu. Take the shelter of scriptures. Understand the truth. Come to the plane of goodness. Practice the science of Krishna consciousness sincerely. So we don't know death when will come, when it will come, we have no idea. Now Bharat Maharaj, person who is actually in the Bhava stage, he connected to a deer. And then through that association with the deer, because there's nothing in the forest, it's deer and him. Just playing with the deer, taking the deer to the river, doing this, doing that, feeding the deer, so many things. And through that, he missed his devotional service. And then all of a sudden he fell. He would fall down, and then he's about to leave his body. And then he's thinking, oh, what's going to happen to my deer? That's it. And he left the body. This is what he thought. What's going to happen to my deer? Which is very dear to me. He left. It's very practical. That means we don't have to be hard-hearted with anyone. We have to see everyone through the presence of the Lord. No other way. One should actually see all the jivas through the presence of the Lord. Mameva Amsha, just like we are Amsha, they are also Amsha. Just like Krishna is protecting me, Krishna is protecting everyone else. It's like spiritual master words are driving us. It might not drive everyone else, but it's driving us. So when the Acharya's words are driving us, the spiritual master words are driving us, this is how we should actually see this world. When that Amsha is also part and parcel of the Lord, how can I give him trouble? How can I cause him discomfort? How can I be envious? If I'm envious to him, that means I'm envious to Krishna. A devotee was asking, Oh Prabhu, how do I become free from envy? Oh Prabhu, it's very good question. Prabhu, they're all part and parcel of the Lord now. If you're envious to him, then you're actually envious to the Lord. Do you want to be envious to the Lord? Which exactly this is what we felt, and then we came here. Now you say that I'm not envious to Jagannath. I'm not saying I'm not envious to Govinda, but I'm envious to this person, envious to that person. That means indirectly we're envious to him. So not a single moment be left out. Every moment should be done for their pleasure. Aspire for this. Think about this. Meditate on this. Try understanding this. Duryodhana is doing exactly opposite. Please understand. He has everything, but he doesn't want to put Krishna in it. What we should do, whatever we are doing, everything we need to add Krishna. You're working, you work for Krishna. Give the results to Krishna. That is Karma Yoga. And slowly, when you begin giving, when you begin giving results to the result to Krishna, slowly your devotion will be deepened. Because practically, what are you doing? You are actually manifesting. You're working for the pleasure of the Lord. This has to be addressed here. It's very important. This is addressed, the progress will be fast. That means the strength and energy with Mother Sita has received by remembering the Lord. That strength we will also get by their mercy. What we need to do? We need to remember. We need to think about that. We need to know about that. We need to chant all around sincerely. We need to hear sincerely. We need to honor Krishna Prasad sincerely. Please understand, any person we are interacting in this world, your progress of Krishna consciousness depends on that. Might be a devotee, non-devotee, doesn't matter. You know how we should see? You should see everyone as devotee. Be non-devotee. Now that person might not be devotee. You don't have to tell him devotee, but he's part and parcel of the Lord. We should give that respect and then do our service and then come out. Today I had to discuss with a person. I was just thinking about that. Arey, how am I dealing with him? It should be Krishna centric. Shouldn't be anything else. It should become more and more simple, dear devotees. Our heart should become simpler. Never carry any grudge in the heart. Just like Duryodhana is carrying continuously. And actually, that is the reason why he is fearful, because there's Krishna in it. It's all the material energy sitting in his heart. That's why it's heavy for him. Hare Krishna. Well, we'll stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you for the message, Prabhuji. You started with the something new that I learned and something to meditate on. You mentioned that the conch shell is also a person. It's the Krishna consciousness is very, it's personalism. There's a person, right? So it's very important on how and the beautiful way that acharyas are describing it. If we don't follow the Guru Parampara and we listen to each and every one, they would explain in their own way. They would just take it off, right? Conchal, okay, it's just a thing, and then they would remove. But then the real meaning on why Krishna or why Sanjaya is speaking and why that shloka about the conch shell is in Bhagavad Gita, we should hear from only the Guru Parampara, from the Bhakta. Then only we'll go through the part of Bhakti, through that small integrity, that detail. As you said, Krishna looks for details, sincerity, Prabhu. And you also brought up Mother Sita's commitment, chastity towards Lord Ramachandra, using that situation. Well, Mother Sita doesn't have to use, but we have to make use of that situation to depend on the Lord even more and more. That way, He would help us to get out of that situation, whichever situation it may be. That we can see, we should. I should have to really check and see on how he's actually helping, how he in that situation, how he's actually helping. If and as you said, only if our thoughts, if our mind is clear, being simple, then only we can actually think about delving into that situation and how Lord is helping us to get out of it, right? Otherwise, we would think about all the circumstances which caused that situation, and we try to blame each and everyone who thinking they created the situation. So beautifully explained, Prabhu. I just wanted to share that. Please correct me. Hare Krishna.
Really, we should be very careful with our dealings with anyone in this world, because we want to have good impressions. We don't want to put them down. We want to have good impressions, because this is a place for us to correct our mentality. If there's any problem, we should correct. If somebody is actually telling us, this is your dealing is not right. This is the thing. This is a problem which I see through your dealing. Then, if it is really a problem, we should correct. We should correct ourselves. If you're not thinking rightly, we should correct our consciousness. If we are not dealing with the people correctly, we should change our consciousness. Change begins from us, not from the other person. You should always think this. And if you see this further, everyone would like to give corrections. Nobody would like to take corrections. It's a tricky thing in this world. Wherever you go, you'll hear corrections. People are ready to give corrections, people are not ready to correct themselves. But how we should be is, we should be the person to accept those things. Dear devotees, if your heart is ready to accept, means the heart will only be ready to accept when you're fully Krishna conscious. Otherwise, your heart will not accept. Why my wife is telling, why my aunt is telling, or why she is telling, why my father is telling, or why my sister is telling. You will not tell them, but those impressions will stay in your heart. Please try to understand, any relationship which we are dealing, we dealt with them before also. Not with everyone. With someone, with for some people, we deal with them. We dealt with them before. For example, if we are envious in our last life with one person, that person will become your son next life. That person will become your daughter. She will put you in so much trouble. Should understand. This is my thing which is coming to me. That means, but when our dealings with them is fully Krishna conscious, then only we will accept. Otherwise, we will not accept. We will tell them I'm accepting, but in our heart we will not accept. But dear devotees, this is what I'm experiencing recently. When we begin accepting, we'll actually see that person in a better way, in a better position for us. Dear devotee, you're dealing with a person. If you don't feel better, if you don't feel nice of that person, can you continue the relation? You should feel nice, you should feel better. How do you feel nice and how do you feel better? Whatever they are saying, if you just accept, try to accept, or do that as a manifestation. If you can do, if you can implement, that's okay. But at least be on a neutral platform. At least accept, understand that you cannot do it now. You might be doing it in the future, but at least accept now. That means stop that drama today itself. Because I always think, how many days we will live? A few years. You should be very nice now with everyone. This we need to cultivate. Advaishta Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna did not say Advaishta to devotees, Advaishta to your family, Advaishta to Guru. No. Krishna says Advaishta Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva Bhutanam means all living entities. All living entities means our family, our work, our this, that, so many, everything will come in that. Advaishta Sarva Bhutanam. That we need to work. Sita Amma, she's not she's not outraged or furious to them. No doubt, she's not accepting. But more than that, She's going internal. She's taking shelter internal. Because she's alone now. That, just like Srila Prabhupada is alone. Mother Sita is also alone. But Mother Sita is taking association alone. She's actually taking association. Because what is she doing? She's continuously thinking about it. That is association actually. For example, you're sitting in the class, you're thinking about your home, thinking about your job, thinking about this, that, so many other things. That means where exactly we are. We are there, we are not here. So we are not taking association, we are there somewhere else. What is a real association? Real association means internalization. Taking the words to the heart. That is real association. Whoever takes the words to the heart, that person will remember at the time of death. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Please excuse me if I caused an inconvenience. Thank you all very much. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanava Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for giving the wonderful bhajan, Prabhuji. Vamsi Vas Prabhuji, thank you for giving a wonderful lecture in the Govinda Das Prabhuji.